What's up, everybody? This is Reverend Guns, and today we're going to be taking apart and cleaning a Glock 43X. This is a 9mm, and so the first thing we want to do is a safety check. So if you press this button right here behind the magazine, or behind the trigger, it will pop the magazine out. We don't want any cleaners or solvents on this, so we're going to set this aside away from our workstation. Then you want to push the slide back and push this little lever up, and it will lock the slide back in place. Now we can look down into the barrel there and see that there is nothing in there. Now that we know it is clear and safe to work on, we will decock the slide. We will also pull the trigger to decock the hammer, and now you will see that there is a little lever here on each side. You're going to grab those and pull those down while holding the slide back slightly. So you're going to pull it back like this, just a little bit, doesn't take much. You'll grab and pinch those two little tabs and pull them downward. You can let go of the slide, you can let go of the buttons, and now the slide should just slide right off. Just like that. So we have the frame to clean. Inside the slide here we have the guide rod and spring. You'll want to push it towards the front of the barrel, and that'll compress it and allow it to come out. And you can pull the barrel out by pushing it up from the bottom and sliding it out. These are the pieces we will be cleaning today. I'm going to grab my gun cleaner here, and everybody has their own opinion and preference on gun cleaner, on which ones work better than others. It really doesn't matter. Any good gun cleaner will do just fine. Make sure you spray everything really good. And while that is soaking for a second, I'll explain what tools I've got sitting here. I've got a soft bristle brush. This is usually more than enough to do what I need to do. It's got a little detail end on it for the smaller crevices and corners. I do have a harder bristle brush for the real stubborn carbon. I don't use the metal or brass because I do not want to take the chance on scratching or marking any of the bluing or the plastic, because this is polymer. I don't want to damage it in any way, so typically, especially with the gun cleaner I'm using, the soft bristle brush is more than enough. I've got a screwdriver and a couple Allens here. I'm not going to need them for this one, but I do have a slotted cleaning rod, which we put patches on. I've got a 9mm barrel brush. This is what we'll scrub the inside of the barrel with. I've got some gun cleaner. I have a rag that I use just gun cleaner or gun oil for, to help spread it and not be contaminated with anything else. I have patches. Q-tips sometimes come in handy for the little small areas, and then a couple of rags here to wipe everything off as we go. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the barrel, because this is really the only thing that has anything particular on how to do it. And you want to do it the direction that the bullet travels. It loads up in the chamber here and then comes out this way. You want to make sure the brush comes out all the way, both sides. You don't want that to stop inside the barrel. Okay? The reason why we don't go through this direction is because you do not want to chip, ding, anything that could cause damage here. It could ruin accuracy and cause problems when firing. So we'll run this through a few times. We want it, you'll feel it kind of get smoother as you go. I'll get the feeding ramp a little bit. go through a few more times. We're just breaking up the carbon that's inside of there. And then we'll take our little soft bristle brush and start going around everywhere you can on the barrel. Use the detail end to get the steps for the guide rod and spring and the little areas. Always make sure you get that feeding ramp real well. And get the end of it real well. And we're going to throw some patches through it. So we'll take our slotted cleaning rod here, and I usually do 2 at a time. It helps fill up the barrel a little more and gives it a nice tight wipe down. So pull it through, looks just like that, and going the same direction you did with the brush, you'll push it, make sure you go all the way through both directions. Alright, let's take a look here. As you can see, all that black is what we're removing from the barrel. So this will never be completely white when you're done. It'll be more of a light gray, and the objective is to get rid of the black. Nothing black is ever good, so we'll make sure we remove it all. And if you gotta do this a few times, you do it a few times, depending on how many rounds you shot through it. Depends on how dirty this thing gets. Let's take a look here. Wow. See? No more black. It's just kind of a mild gray. I'm going to do that one more time for good measure. Stick a corner in. Grab it, pull it through. We'll do this one more time just to be sure we've got everything out of there. So, yep, almost white, but we don't see any black. So we'll give the barrel a wipe down, remove any other residue that we were brushing off a minute ago. And we will set that to the side. Let's grab the guide rod here and just kind of give it a little brush down. Don't want anything in those springs because it's going to compress and we don't want it to get stuck, not going compressing completely. So that's why we're getting in the springs there. You can use a little detail in. It's not going to hurt, especially for the smaller spring on here. Alright, let's give that a wipe off. Set that aside. Let's move on to the slide. Basically, you just want to get everywhere you can. We're just trying to break loose all the carbon and dirt that you see in there. Get the slide rail there real good. Both sides. You don't want anything to cause this to stick. We want this to cycle with no issues. I'm going to get the striker plate real good. We'll get inside the barrel. Brush anywhere you can. You're not going to hurt anything. Don't be afraid to scrub something. Alright, we can get the outside. I like to get the little grooves because people's fingers are dirty. Alright, get around the extractor real good. We want that to be able to eject the casing with no issues. We'll get around the sights as well. And once you feel you've pretty much hit everything, we can wipe it off. You get your finger in there, you're wiping off all the cleaner and residue and everything we just broke free. We want wiped off. Might have to kind of dig a corner into the slide here to really get in there. Alright, but everything looks real good now. Let's grab the frame and you just go at it. Getting the slide rails real good. Magazine release. And once you feel you've got everything pretty well scrubbed once, we'll go ahead and start wiping it off. Use your finger to get in all the little areas. down there in the mag weld a little bit. Get that cleaner out of there. Anything that might drip down. Get the rails again, just to make sure there's nothing in there. Alright, we are now ready for some lube. So, grab your gun oil. I have a cloth that I use just gun oil for, that way it's not contaminated with anything else. And just kind of, I'm liberal with this, you know, some people say just use a drop. Well, no, I like you guys to be able to see that I'm putting it on there, and without making a mess with the drop and then having to go through and wipe it off. This is all one motion. So what you're looking for here is anything that's got scratches or marks or anything you can find that looks like it's been I don't want to say damaged, it's just scraped. So that's metal on metal action happening, and that's where you want lubrication to be. So anywhere you see a mark, you want to put it on there so it will have something to grease the wheels as it's performing its cycle. Make sure you get the guide rail real good. Get the inside. I also get the top side. Anywhere you see a scratch. Now, I will not oil the extractor itself because that oil attracts dirt and dust, and it'll end up, you know, jamming it and making it so it won't perform its function. And so we're not going to put any oil on that. We'll just leave it clean. So for the slide, that's all there is there. On the barrel, I do the whole length of the shaft itself. Again, we're looking for scratches. There's usually some on the barrel. You can kind of see them here. Sometimes they're on the chamber itself. Definitely on top here, you can see that. So we're going to get the top. I'm going to get the side too. And I personally put a little dab on the feeding ramp just to help it load, give it no issues. As far as the guide rod, you can do this. The idea is to try and get some in there on the rod itself. It's not the easiest task without taking this apart, so it's just a little wipe down, ain't gonna hurt. And the frame, again, we're looking for marks, scrapes, scratches. Anywhere you see a mark, you want to get some oil on there. You want to make sure you get some down on the slide rail itself. Maybe a little bit kind of where the slide touches on the frame there. I mean, you can go all the way forward if you want. That's pretty much it. Again, you don't want to put a lot of oil on here because it attracts dirt and dust and will build up and cause function problems. So we're now going to put this back together. We're going to start with the slide. Got the barrel end, muzzle end to my left here, and we're going to take the barrel. I want to show you this real quick. Right up here, there's a little step. One step, two step. See that? This bottom step here is what the guide rod sits on. So when you put the guide rod in, that's what you're shooting for. Okay? So with those steps upward, you're going to slide it into the barrel hole, drop it in, and push it back. Then you'll grab the guide rod. It's got a black end, which is the bigger end, and a silver end, which has the smaller end on it. Right below the barrel here is where the guide rod sits. So you'll stick it in that hole below the barrel, and then you'll compress it until you've got it down onto that lower step that I just showed you. And it should look like this. Pretty much level with the slide itself. And that just leaves putting the slide back on the frame. So on the back side here, there's two little grooves. That's where the beginning of the slide rail here is going to start. And you just stick it in, slide back, keep pushing until you hear it click. Now you know it's back in place. So now we can check it. Okay. And now that we've got everything lubed and clean, let's give this one final wipe down with a clean cloth here. If there happens to be any excess of anything, this is the time to wipe it off. You know, especially like fingerprints. You know, stuff you don't want on here. And we have now just disassembled, cleaned, lubed, and reassembled a Glock 43X. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. I also offer the online course to get your Texas license to carry a handgun. It's the 4-hour class broken down into segments and saves you progress so you can do it at your own pace. After completing the course, you will be able to print your certificate. Then, it'll help you locate an instructor close to you, no matter where you are in Texas, so you can complete the shooting portion of the course. This is all certified by the Texas Department of Public Safety. Check it out at reverendguns.com. If you have any questions or comments, please add them below. Be sure to like and subscribe for more firearms education.